Okay, now we're good. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Midweek Gaming. I'm Nick, and over the other side of the comms, of course, Justin providing commentary, editing, and whatever else he feels necessary. I'm really needing to work on these intros and outros. Get it someday. But anyways, happy holidays, everyone. The last episode was technically our Christmas episode leading up to Christmas, but I thought, let's do a New Year's episode too. We don't sleep at the New Year's. We don't sleep at the midweek offices, so neither should you. You don't.
You
You
see,
have to
this is
listen
what
to
happens when you have Insomniacs. Don't worry about it. They don't sleep and they just work. They make
Exactly.
excellent workers.
Exactly. This is what happens when the chief creative officer is a fucking insomniac. You have to listen to our shit too. Anyways. So yeah. Happy New well, no, not Happy New Year's, not yet. As of recording, it's Thursday. We're coming up to it. But anyways. So yeah, another holiday episode, another holiday themed, well, not holiday themed thing, but another lighter thing in nature of the holidays, because I don't feel like digging up anything really extreme coming up to the holidays. This particular episode, I thought I'd do stuff on Honkai Star Rail. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm kind of a weeb, so I kind of a weeb. But I do look at these kinds of things. I'm an otaku by nature. And yeah, I do play things like Genshin, and I do play things like Star Rail. And Star Rail just had its next big update. I think we're on like 1.6 now, something like that. And I wanted to address it because there's always been a big difference between Star Rail and Genshin. And a lot of reasons why people point out this difference is because they're made by the same freaking developers. They're both made by MiHoYo. So, and they're both in the same vein of a game. They're both gacha games by nature. But depending on which of the two games that you play will depend on who eats well and who doesn't, so to speak. Because in Genshin, you get given of the characters you can collect or roll for, I should say. Only about, not including the main character, 3. Well, no, there's
roles for it. It's not all too forgiving sometimes.
it's not that bad. It's it could be worse. Could be worse. I've played bad. I've played bad gacha games just out of curiosity. I play Fate Grand Order, so that should tell you all you need to know. Beside the point. For those who know, you know. But anyways, you get maybe 4 characters that I can remember in Genshin that you get for free, versus the characters you get in Star Rail, which you get actually quite a few. I've gotten, I think, about 6 characters, and now we're going up to, I think, 7. No, well, maybe 6, not including the main character. Let's go with 6. Somewhere around there. But anyways, my point being is that recently one of the big things that got released is that they're actually giving out another character, and this one's actually a 5-star, so that's rare. 5 stars usually incredibly low drop chance. We're talking about like 0.36 something like drop chance. And I've been having cruddy luck when it comes to my 5 stars in Star Rail recently. So they're deciding to give one away with the new update. And this one is Dr. Ratio, I think it's called. Or I think he's called. This has kind of spurred a bit of controversy in the MiHoYo collective community. Because people are kind of wondering, if Genshin's starting to give out 5-star characters like the Good Doctor, does that mean the health of the game is deteriorating? For those who don't know, there's always been kind of a bit of a discussion around MiHoYo's products. Not in a bad way per se, but just kind of how MiHoYo themselves treat the games. In the case of which, it all kind of started, the big one that's kind of been the most successful as of recent years, well, minus Genshin, was Honkai Star Rail 3. There's a few games before that came out from them, but that's a bit of a history lesson, so I'll avoid talking about those. But the one that kind of put them on the map as of more modern times was Impact Third, Honkai Impact Third. And before you wonder, yes, Honkai Star Rail and Impact Third do take place in the same universe, but very tangentially. Again, different story for a different time. Anyways, so people always wondered how exactly Hoyo treats their games, because they're all gacha games effectively. But the amount of attention some of them get varies. Or the amount of love the community gets in some of them tends to vary. Like I said, you don't really get anything in Genshin Impact. You work for everything you get. versus in Star Rail, where you seem to get quite a bit of things. It's the most recent product. And there's always been this kind of discussion that it seems that MiHoYo wants the Honkai series to succeed, and Genshin exists as the kind of neglected middle child that is still popular nonetheless. So people are wondering the fact that MiHoYo is giving away 5 stars. Does this also mean the health of the game is deteriorating? Because, as I said, Genshin is considered to be the far more popular game of the three, especially compared to Star Rail. And though it only just came out recently, its health isn't exactly, well, it's not terrible, but it's not exactly the numbers that Genshin's pulling in. So people are wondering if the health of the game has kind of deteriorated unofficially, and this is kind of their way of incentivizing people to come back in. Got all that?
Yeah,
No? Yes?
perhaps. Who knows?
Perhaps. I just say that because it's a bit of a grand thing to wrap your head around in a bit of a way, and I tend to speak at about 1,000 words per second, so I have to constantly remind myself mentally to slow down, otherwise I start talking in paragraphs. But anyways, so this is a kind of an interesting point to raise. Do I personally believe that Star Rail as a game is dying, and that's what kind of spurred the whole Ratio giveaway? No, no. I personally think the game is fine. Not gonna lie. The numbers aren't terrible, I would say. Plus, I imagine that it's like I said. It seems that MiHoYo wants the Honkai series to succeed, so I doubt they would abandon the project. And I doubt the game is dying. Now, I don't have any numbers to back up those claims. That's just intuition. But my own personal thoughts on the matter is I doubt it's a dying game. And that whole sparks a debate of exactly what does one consider a dying game. In the channel, we've talked before about what constitutes a dying game. I won't go over the full shtick. Me and Justin have varying different opinions as to what constitutes a dying game.
I would say though a commonality for dying games though is at least very low to no community like activity. Developers don't really do a whole lot, and or there's no updates, and servers are being shut down or closed. I'd say that commonality would constitute a game dying.
Well, I think once you get to point 3, you're not dying, you're dead. But
Well,
that's
yeah,
beside.
but still, like I would say, like any games that fall under there, I would say are definitely within the category of dying and or dead.
That's the thing, right? Like I said, our opinions do vary somewhat. That was his opinion. As I kind of said, mine is much more of a flat line
you
kind of
have
thing.
nothing, you're dead. Good day.
Well, that's the thing, right? I am a bit more subjective when it comes to it. I think yours is a lot more
Lenient
very
in some ways.
not lenient. I would say the opposite in some ways. You're a very flat line, this is dead. And you're basically saying once there is nothing, there is dead. And mine is, I would think mine
Well,
would be a
see,
lot more
I
lenient.
come from the mindset of no matter what, if there's still a community and they're making stuff, in a way the game isn't dead. It's just dead in the eyes of the company.
That's the thing, right? Like I said, I approach it in a much more, I think, lenient way in a way because I think I can acknowledge the fact that again, I think we can both acknowledge when it comes to the games industry at large, a dead game is practically non-existent. There are games that are still going strong to this day that while their player bases do bounce back and forth, they still exist in some form or not. Hell, there's an entire people that would consider TF2 a dead game, and that's debatable. And when
I, the irony, the
I
irony of
say
the moment.
I say debatable, let's be honest, Steam has basically abandoned it.
Well, not entirely.
Look me in the eye.
There has been recent content added, my friend, and not just seasonal content.
Like I said, it's debatable. Mine, like I said, is I think it's much more. I think I like to have a much more lenient description of dead as a result of that, because, like I said, in the industry, for an actual game to be fully dead is very, very rare. That
Yeah.
would require servers to be shut down, there to be no one there. I think we both have a similar, if not the same, definition of what
It's
a dead game
basically in
is.
a way the same type of idea as like you're not forgotten. Like big name like Einstein, for example. Einstein will never be forgotten so long as people remember the contributions that he has made, and he's made an enormous contribution to science and mathematics. So because of that, he's not gonna really be forgotten anytime soon. But if there does come a day where it's like, okay, well, this is kind of irrelevant, we don't need it anymore, there's a chance that he might be end up being forgotten because nobody needs to use his equations and whatnot anymore. Like that's kind of the same type of idea. Is like so long as there are people who remember and interact and use and whatnot like that, it's technically not dead in a certain regards.
Again,
But
I
besides the
think our
point,
opinion, like I said, yeah, weird comparison, but like I said, our opinions generally are the same when it comes to what constitutes a dead game. Long story short, my constitution of a dead game or dying game, I should say, there are differences.
mm,
Is where it's kind of effectively been soft abandoned by both the community and the developers. Not entirely, because, like I said, it's never going to truly ever get abandoned by everyone. Hell, Anthem is technically dead, and yet there are still people playing it on single player, if memory serves. And I would constitute that as a dead game myself. But again, it's debatable. So, yeah, long story short, do I think Star Rail is dying? By my definition, no. When it comes to the numbers, like I said, I don't have any numbers to back this up. MiHoYo hasn't said anything in terms of one way or the other,
who's
but
actively playing and whatnot.
yeah, who's actively playing and whatnot. And I can't exactly look up the Steam numbers for it because, well, it's an independent game not associated with Steam, so I can't exactly look up the
Well,
metrics.
well, here I will say, it is on Steam though, yeah.
No, it
No.
is a completely independent
Oh,
site.
okay, then never mind. Because I was gonna say
Like,
like games like Call of Duty and whatnot, although are not specifically just Steam and whatnot, you can still
yeah,
get an idea on the type of like the number of players who are
oh,
actively playing it. So there is
yeah.
that.
If it had a version on Steam, I could at least look up the Steam player count numbers in general. That wouldn't give us a full picture, but it would give us a general idea based on the PC numbers.
Yeah.
Sadly, Toyo does everything proprietarily, kind of like Ubisoft, so I don't exactly have anything for you. It's just a hunch. But I'm willing to wager probably not. This is just another example, I think, of Star Rail players eating much better, as they say, than Genshin players. And as a person who plays both, I'm not sure. I'm both happy and sad on the issue. Happy because at least one of my two things is getting something. Sad because why aren't both of them getting something? Damn it! I grind for Diluc more than I should. Oops. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. What a weird time to be given a phone call. I'll
Interesting.
get back. You might have heard it, you might not have. But anyways, so yeah, honestly, like I said, is it dying? No. Is it dead? Definitely not. I mean, Honkai Impact Third just transitioned to I think their second grand arc thing, whatever. I also play Impact, but not as much as at all as I play Genshin or Star Rail. Like I said, I'm really getting back into Star Rail. I'm having to like get caught up because I think I just played like the first few like the hour or two and just kind of stopped there. It's like my experience when I came back to like Genshin after like 2 or 3 years. I was still technically in Leeway, and we were already near the end of freaking Sumeru. So I had a lot of catching up to do. And I'm complaining. I like a lot of content, but I can't do some events until I get to certain points of the story, which takes me off because I can't get the event rewards. But that's FOMO for you, and that's a whole other discussion. So I'll table it from now. Like I said, is it dying? No. Is it dead? Well, is it dying? I don't know. Probably not. Is it dead? Definitely not. It's just another case of MiHoYo being much more generous to Star Rail players than they are to Genshin players. Hell, there's the legendary saying of maybe one of these days during a New Year's event, we'll finally get a 5-star character. Probably won't happen, but we can try. We can petition
Maybe
Toyo.
one day, but not today.
Maybe one day we'll get a free 5-star from them, but not today.
Today is
Honestly,
not that day.
honestly, if they give us Cloud Tainer for free during the freaking the New Year's event, and she ends up being a 5-star, which maybe, maybe not. I would be very funny, and I would laugh. But anyways, as for how you can get the good doctor ratio, there is a link down in the description made by, I think, Game Rant. Yes, it's Game Rant. Who will show you the process of basically getting him. It's basically a get to a certain point in the story and you can claim him. I think you have to finish all of the first 3 planets before you can claim him. Or at least the story of the first 3 planets. I'm basically done, almost on the 3rd planet. So it shouldn't be that bad for me.
There you go.
And you have up until, I think, version, 2.0, I think, to get him. Hold on, let me just make sure I'm not quoting badly. You don't have to get him purely in this version. They're giving you a bit of time to get him. He is a 5-star, so what's that tell you? Yay. The second half, though, so he's not available just yet. He'll be released January 17th, along with the second half of 1.6. So, not just yet.
There you go.
And he's an imaginary character, which is good because I really need imaginary characters. If you play Star Rail, you know exactly what I mean. But anyways,
I need this damage type.
like, honestly, the game is unlike Genshin, which is an open world game, which kind of has the same fighting style in a way to something like the modern Final Fantasies. Star Rail is much more in the line of old Final Fantasy, a la turn-based games. So you really need to play to the damage types in order to get a lot of successful damage in. Because trust me, if you do not, some bosses will wipe the floor with you. But anyways. Besides the point. But yeah, you have until the end of 2.1 to get a hold of him, so no rush. We're already in only the beginning of 6.1, or 1.6. So, no rush. Knowing how MiHoYo works in terms of how fast these updates come out, let's say you've got, let's say, generally once we get to the 0.6 we're near the end of the update for that. So you have until about, let's say, 60 days to get him. So not bad in terms of it. Like, that's what, a month, 2 months, something like that. But anyways, so yeah, that's a good doctor. And yeah, I'll call it here for now. Just thought I'd do some work over what we have, what's new in Star Rail, what's new in the whole Genshin world and MiHoYo world in general, and kind of addressing my own personal thought and controversy on the bit of murmurings that's been going on in the community recently of does this mean Star Rail is dying because they're giving away 5 stars? I mean, like I said,
is
you
it
can't.
really a bad thing that people are providing you with the means to take part in content and whatnot?
I mean, like I said, I can understand why people think that because, like I said, at least in Genshin, the drop chance is like 0.6 or something for a 5-star. And I don't know about Star Rail, but I think it's probably somewhere around there, if not lower, because like luck for the 5 stars recently has been terrible. But that just might be my luck. But I can certainly see why people would say, like, why are they giving away a 5-star of all things? Because those are hard characters to get a hold of. That's a lot of pulls on the slots, if you know what I mean. Again, it might just be another case of Star Rail eating good. It's not exactly new in this community. Who knows? But that's just my personal take on it. Let me know down in the comments what you think about it. Are you a Star Rail player? Are you a Genshin player? Do you play any of MiHoYo's
Inform
games?
us on your thoughts.
Yeah, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. You know the usual shtick around here. Please help us feed the algorithm. You probably heard this
Feed
from
me
1,000 other
my
YouTubers.
coin.
Help me feed the algorithm. You probably heard this from 1,000 other YouTubers, but help us feed the algorithm. It helps our subscriber numbers. Or at the very least, just our view count. And of course, in the words of the good bite, your viewership is always enough for me. So, have a good night, everyone. Have a happy holidays. Have a happy new year. And we'll see you all next year. Because this will be our last episode of 2023. Fun fact.
Yes.
There you go. It was a good year. For us, kind of, maybe. Let's just say
Perhaps.
it was. Have a good one, everyone. Happy New Year's!